Yes guys, what is up? Welcome to Supercars of London and welcome back to the Cupra Born e-boost that in April of this year I collected from Cupra headquarters, and in May we took it up to Scotland to celebrate Extreme E, and I put a few miles on this car. However, 5,000 miles later, and this being not only my daily driver but my wife's daily driver to and from work, today we're in central London, more specifically Regent Street. We're going to be heading in that direction to take this car spotting. We've got 100% charge, and I'm going to give you all of the pros and cons of the Cupra Born whilst trying to hunt down some supercars. Oh! I've literally just turned the GoPro on, and the Novitec F8 Tributo, that is a little bit of a lunatic. I've seen him do a launch control in the wet, just drove in front of me. He's literally right there, so I'm gonna have to get the cameras rolling because we are already at it in London. Look at this. Let's see if we can listen to it. He's giving it. This is noisy. He's just short shifting, but even still. And instantly, I was just about to say when I started the GoPro that driving around in this Citroen Ami and scooting about in full electric mode gave me such a buzz to just be able to hear all of the London noises. I had to come and bring the Cupra in to celebrate 5,000 miles and to give you guys a proper update on this car. But first, this. For a turbocharged car, that sounds phenomenal. I can only imagine what that sounds like on full chat, and he's just going up into a building up there actually, so I'm gonna turn left and get onto Park Lane. But what a start, that sounds so good. Look at that. Oh. We've kicked things off straight away. We're following a Q8 Ford GT. Oh, I nearly reversed into it. No, rear-ended it, sorry. I'm going a little bit. He's going to get fuel. He's getting ready for an afternoon on the town. There are not many of those cars being used on a day-to-day basis, and that is properly special. I don't really know where to start. I'm back on Park Lane after filming a Novitec F8 Tributo doing one lap of Mayfair and coming up alongside a Q8 Ford GT. Things are kicking off. And I think it's probably worth mentioning that I am filming this on a Saturday, whereas in the Citroen, I was filming it on a Thursday. So everyone is out, the sun is shining, there's a bluey purple Cullinan in the petrol station there now with the Ford GT. But I'm gonna carry on heading south and set the scene for the video if the supercars already haven't done that. But what I wanna try and do is bounce off some of the pros and cons that I've found with living with an EV without a charge point at home. I've done a little bit of man math. I've compared the running costs of this, accumulating miles in this, versus my Golf GTI. There's an SF90 there parked up at the Dorchester, and there's a McLaren Senna there. I need to get caught at these lights. Got caught at these lights. Ah, it's parked up. I can go around there and literally film them whenever I want. A white Senna is there with a white 4GT, but now I'm in the wrong lane. I need to get across. I am just swanning in and out of the congestion charge like it doesn't even matter, because in an EV, at the moment, it doesn't. But have a look at these two cars. Again, I have a camera in the windscreen. They are Qatari hypercars parked up at 45 Park Lane. This video has started incredibly strongly. Let's not beat around the bush. I pretty much ticked every single box. So the specification on this car is high. The price of the car is as high as it will be, which is around £46,000, which I believe to be good value for money, considering and comparing it to some of the other electric cars that I have driven. And when you're driving it around central London, the size of it is great. And then also the start-stop traffic, you can pretty much do the majority of it on one pedal, just tapping the accelerator, having the regen braking on, and then the car braking for itself. I started today with 100% charge. I've now got 92% and 286 miles. However, one of the negatives of this car we will start with, because the drive into North London and Central London is all on motorways. This car isn't efficient above 55 miles an hour. 55, 60 miles an hour, the battery starts to drain pretty quickly. What this car is perfect at is city driving, town to town driving, A to B driving, because we've done 25 miles. So it's estimating that we will get 310 miles to a charge, which is okay. But I would say 325, 330, if you're just driving it in the town, is more realistic. And it will drop very fast to 200, 250 if you're doing a long distance drive, which you are required to drive at 65, 70 miles an hour for the majority of the drive. So the range can fluctuate quite a lot, but right now, it's all right. I've found the best car park in Mayfair for the Cupra to just sit here in the corner whilst I head out on foot and hopefully capture some more supercars. But first, I need to change the battery on this thing. I'm rolling the camera because as the 911 goes, the crazy Novitec F8 Tributo is back. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is lovely. Now this is where things get very silly. 4GT that we saw earlier, Speciale, and then the Senna, and I could just stand in the middle of the road and see at least 4 or 5 Ferraris, which we will get to. This is properly special. I'm gonna try and get some photos. Orange details, this bin's annoying. McDonald's spec Pista, 4GT, casual Saturday. Everybody's in charge at some point. this was one of the cars we were going to see. I actually thought it was a Porsche, but the V6 has tricked me. What a beast. Second Ford GT of the day. Maybe. It does sound a little bit like a Turbo S. A little bit, I don't know. So far, I've not got a real clean shot of these two cars, but we've already had a Senna and Ford GT combo up on Mount Street in Mayfair. So even though these are two white cars, we've already seen them. I mean, I'm getting a little bit spoiled today, but it's pretty impressive, the show of cars and wealth that is in central London. Have a look at these two. There, oh, we just turned it off and the whole car's jumped up. Race mode, disengaged. A Qatari Senna, and I think the Ford GT is from QA. Let me just double check. Yeah, Q8 Ford GT and a Qatari Senna. Now I was just filming them until I heard a straight piped, naturally aspirated V12 downshift in the form of an 812 that is not the satin blue 812 that I've just been filming up in Mayfair. It definitely has Novitec. This is another 812. English plates, but straight piped. The one thing I'm picking up, oh there you go, there's another downshift. The one thing I'm picking up on this trip is the amount of straight pipe supercars in London is still very high. Sounded pretty good. Whilst the traffic again is a little bit silly, I did a little bit of man math, because obviously I've got rid of the Golf GTI and I've got rid of the Jag E-Pace. And yes, I've replaced the Golf with the Stelvio. I've replaced the Jag and the Golf to an extent with the Stelvio Quadrifoglio. But what I was really interested by is every time we charge this car up, it's £45. We use a fast charger at Shell and it's 45 quid to just get full charge every single time, which is great. But I was wondering whether that was more expensive than petrol or diesel. So I've calculated that approximately across the 5 months that we've had this car, discounting the miles that it took to get up to Scotland and back down to Scotland, we have averaged approximately 500 miles in the Cupra, which has cost us £165 across the month. I then calculated that with the Golf GTI based on how much it cost to give a full tank, and then how much range on average I was getting from that car, and the costs per 500 miles were coming out at around £180. So not much more than the Cupra, but a little bit more. However, the Jag, that was the killer, because it was so expensive to fill up and actually not very good on fuel. So it cost £280. So when you compare this to the Jag, when my girlfriend takes this to and from work Monday to Friday, this is over £100 per week cheaper. That is a sick combo. It is crazy how popular, and also random, because the Ford GT has been out for quite a number of years and all of a sudden become quite popular. All of the cars are parked up now in Mayfair. There isn't really anything else to see or hope to see. Everything's been out, and I've been lucky enough to capture some really loud supercars, doing some really cool stuff and keeping well within that 20-mile-an-hour speed limit that we have in London at the moment. I can't fault this car. I've had a lot of fun with it over the 5,000 miles, and we have adapted very well to EV life. But imagine if we had a charge point at home, how much cheaper per mile this car would be. It's already cheaper than the Golf GTI and the Jag E-Pace. It's definitely cheaper than the Stelvio Quadrifoglio as well. So imagine if we had a charge point at home, just how much cheaper it would be if we get to the end of the day and put it on charge and just charge it up every night like you do your iPhone. Oh, there's a really nice baby blue Urus on the other side of the road there. Sounded pretty good too. It's never going to replace that, but as an A to B car, when you just need it to get you from one place to another, it's pretty cheap, efficient, comfortable and relaxing way of doing it. And we've also had a fun day in London. So I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.